What's up, my comic comrades? DC Comics' Year of the Villain event has been going on since mid-2019, and it's all led to the Hell Arisen miniseries, which began after issues 38 and 39 of the Justice League book. Although, for some reason, Hell Arisen issue 1 was released before Justice League issue 39. Like, at the point of shooting this video, Justice League 39 still isn't out. But hey, what you gonna do? In any case, today I'm gonna break down issue 1 of Hell Arisen, as it's gonna be the culmination of this year's massive Year of the Villain event. But first, we want to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. We've actually been playing Raid for over a year now, and the thing I love about it is that it's totally different from all the typical cutesy and cartoonish mobile games you see so much. Raid is a legit fantasy RPG mobile game with great graphics and a crap ton of gameplay options. Among my favorite aspects is building and upgrading my roster of champions. You could even go to the Champions Index and keep track of the champions you have from the various factions and which ones you want to find. I'm a collector, what can I say? You can then take your beefed up champions of choice and do some raiding in the various dungeons to battle 10 different bosses and collect a myriad of artifacts and treasures to further upgrade your champions. Another important thing to know is that you can now play Raid both on mobile and your desktop, meaning the game is cross-device, so you can switch between devices whenever you want and never miss a beat. Raid also just linked up with Amazon Prime so that you could use your Prime membership to get even more loot and epic champions. In fact, if you log into Raid Shadow Legends and sign up before January 26th, you could use your Prime membership to claim the all-new epic champion, Whisper. But future drops will run through April and include the epic champion Vala, bonus shards, skill tomes, XP boosts, legendary artifacts, potions, and everything else you need to take on rival summoners. But they're not just hooking up Prime members. All new players who click our special links in the description will get 100,000 silver, 1 energy refill, a 1-day XP booster, and a free champion called Adjudicator to get you started strong. And I gotta say, I have the Adjudicator, and she's pretty dope. Just go click on our link now, and when you log in, you'll find your bonus rewards in your inbox here. But don't wait, because they're only available for the next 30 days. Good luck, and we'll see you there. Now with that said, let's talk some DC. Before jumping into issue 1 of Hell Arisen though, let me give you guys some backstory first, in case you haven't been reading the Justice League title, the Batman Superman title, and so on and so forth. Basically, what's been going on over the last year in the Justice League book has been an introduction of several new characters and concepts into the DC universe. Like the introduction of the World Forger, an all-powerful being who creates worlds out of the World Forge. The World Forge is also where Barbados is from metal. It's also the place where new universes are created. Then we have the World Forger's mother, Perpetua, a super celestial, so to speak, who's one of the most powerful beings in the entire DC universe, as she's the being who created the multiverse that existed before the current one. And you know how I said she's the mother of the World Forger? Well, she's also the mother of the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor. So yeah, that should tell you just how powerful she is. We've gotten several other new characters like Shane, who's the son of Martian Manhunter, and Hawkgirl. And of course Jarro, who's the best Robin ever. If you know, you know. But the two most important characters introduced are Perpetua and the World Forger, with the former being the root of everything that's been going on. Speaking of everything that's been going on, in issue 25 of the Justice League, Lex Luthor basically splices his DNA with the stuff from Perpetua that makes him evolve, so to speak. But it only gets crazier because when Justice League 28 rolls around, he absorbs Martian Manhunter into his being in a sequence that looks like it was from John Carpenter's The Thing. It's straight up body horror, and it's disgusting, but very cool at that. But by the end of issue 28, we have a brand new Lex Luthor dubbed Apex Lex, or Apex Predator. Now, as one would assume, for the next several issues, Lex would continue to battle and try to destroy the Justice League, all while also setting out to complete his master plan of turning the whole world to doom, making everyone a villain, as his theory is, we are inherently evil by nature, so why not embrace it? Hence the title of this event, Year of the Villain. Anyway, Lex starts working closer and closer with Perpetua before we're brought to the most current Justice League book at the time of shooting this video, issue 38, where Lex basically solos the Justice League for most of the issue, before Superman steps in and gives him a beating before ultimately getting punched by the DC Trinity all at the same time, knocking him out, causing a massive explosion. But then Perpetua shows up and is like, if I must, I will handle you all myself. But while Perpetua is distracted by the rest of the League, Shane is able to go inside Lex's mind to save his father, as remember, Lex previously absorbed him, although in doing so, Shane sacrifices himself, but the issue ends with Martian Manhunter free from Lex saying, and now is the time for justice. But that gives us a full brief summary of what's been going on with the Justice League book over the course of 2019. But this all brings us to Hell Arisen, issue 1. The issue starts off 1 year in the past, and the comic book even tells us that the first 4 pages of the issue takes place between the end of Dark Knight's Metal and Justice League issue 1. The Batman Who Laughs says, "Lex, you're full of surprises," and Luthor replies, "None of this should come as a surprise. I'm about to embark on the work of a lifetime. I will not have an extra dimensional parasite in a Batman costume stand in my way." The Batman Who Laughs says, "Of course not." Lex replies, "I've seen the future. Great power is coming, and I will show the people of this world what they can become. I will make them believe in doom. I will make them stronger." Lex then says, "You should have stayed hidden after the Dark Multiverse invasion failed. You are not part of the story." Batman Who Laughs says, "Of course I am. I'm one of the main characters. You just don't want to believe it." Then Lex says, "Computer, fire all weapons on my command. Wipe this thing from existence." The Batman Who Laughs then goes on a rant, basically telling Lex that he won't kill him, because he needs him. But even deeper than that, when the chips are all on the table and they both become all they can become, who's going to win, Lex or the Batman Who Laughs? And the Batman Who Laughs is right. He didn't kill him, as we know from Justice League issue 7. Because Lex locked him up in a magic and cosmic enforced dungeon. But the two ended up striking a deal, and Lex ended up letting him free in Justice League issue 8, which led to the events of the Batman Who Laughs miniseries. We are then brought to the current time on Earth 3, where Ultraman is just telling his people, "Louder. I said louder. I want them to feel it from one end of the multiverse to the other. Let her hear it most of all. Let her see we're not like the others. God is real. She's evil, and she's coming." Ultraman then comes inside to join the rest of the crime syndicate and tells them, "I got the sheep all riled up. Maybe they'll start ripping each other apart." After talking amongst themselves, we find out they're basically trying to make their world as evil as possible so Perpetua won't destroy their Earth, as she's only destroying the Earths that are good. During their conversation of seeing how they can make even more blood fill the streets, Apex Lex shows up through a portal saying, "Lady Perpetua seeks an audience with the great powers of your world." She wants to speak to the crime syndicate about the future. Needless to say, the crime syndicate follows him, as this is what they wanted, to be able to talk to Perpetua. So Lex takes them to Godhead in the Promethean galaxy. While walking to Perpetua's throne room, we see that the World Forger is locked up, and so is the Monitor. That's right, she basically locked her sons in their room, as moms do when they're pissed. Once they finally make it to Perpetua, Ultraman says, "She's an evil god. She can hear it straight. We want to talk about a cut." That's how we do things. We throw each other a piece of the action. You're conquering the multiverse. We want a piece of that. Perpetua replies, "I like your spirit, Ultraman, but first, let's see how you cope with your own world." It's here we find out that the people on the world are being changed. Perpetua tells them, "The majority of your people hold doom in their hearts. That has saved your world. But to be of any use to me, they must be stronger. They are more than human now. They are apex predators, like Alexander here." Superwoman is like, "Let me get this straight. You're leaving us a world of monsters to rule?" And when Johnny Quick was like, "I told you this was a bad idea," Perpetua disintegrates him. Perpetua then tells the rest of the crime syndicate, "Guide my predators to cull the weak. Teach them your hate. If you do, I will consider granting you power. If you don't, I will remind you who rules this multiverse." Lex then tells the crime syndicate their time is up with Perpetua and sends them back to Earth 3. Now at this point, longtime DC readers might be like, "Hey, didn't several members from the crime syndicate die during the Forever Evil event several years ago? And wasn't Lex actually part of that? Also, wasn't Earth 3 destroyed?" The funny thing is, the writer actually had Lex bring this up himself, as they know us fans would be like, "The hell's going on, bro? I guess continuity isn't important." So Perpetua gives Lex, but really us, an answer to this. She says the multiverse has a means of healing itself, fortifying into what he believes is the right shape. That is the key to my plans. She goes into it a little deeper, but all she's really saying is, she brought them back. She then sends Lex on a mission to Earth, but he's like, "Didn't we just crush the Justice League?" She tells him there's an abnormality on your home world, an incursion of energy that can disrupt all we have planned. You must understand, Lex, the dark multiverse is a wrong thing. It was never meant to propagate with a broken, twisted world. It's not part of my plan. The nightmares of the dark twist the nature of the multiverse above it. If the incursion were allowed to spread on Earth, the multiverse would never be able to assume my final form. More than that, those energies are a danger to me. So Lex shuts up and says, "Yes, my lady," at once. Lex then heads back to Earth with an army of Apexes and tells them, "You will remain invisible and intangible at my side. You will not act without my say-so." Meanwhile, in Arizona, we see the Batman Who Laughs is interrogating Rip Hunter, the Time Master. Hunter is telling the Batman Who Laughs time travel is broken, and the echoes of what this Perpetua has done, the Justice Doom War, it was the last straw. Hyper time is broken. The Batman Who Laughs says, I could work with that. And as the Batman Who Laughs is interrogating Hunter, he gets a notification that Lex Luthor has returned to Earth and tells his Secret Six to make their move. Meanwhile, back at Metropolis at the Museum of Science, Luthor has a computer initiate the Dark Matter Protocol. He says, "I want every known location of the Dark Multiverse Batman since he was freed from the Hall of Doom." Lex then realizes the Batman Who Laughs has been busy and has infected several Justice League members with dark energy. Moments after this, an infected Supergirl shows up saying, "It's about time somebody from my family puts you in your place." Lex says, "Oh good, I was just thinking, I needed a sample subject." Apex, bring her down, but he realizes that Scarab, aka the infected Blue Beetle, and Deathbringer, aka infected Donna Troy, already took out his soldiers. And then King Shazam shows up as well, and Sky Tyrant, aka infected Shazam, and Hawkman. But Lex isn't worried in the least. He even tells them, "You can't comprehend the power you're dealing with here. I am imbued with the cosmic energy of Perpetua, the mother of the multiverse. A few days ago, I destroyed the Justice League. Do you really think you could face this power head on? Here, I'll let you taste it," as he blasts King Shazam in the chest. But King Shazam just says, "Gotta say, buddy, tastes bland to me." And then the Batman Who Laughs pops up on the computer screen saying, "Hey there, Lex. Right now you're thinking, that can't be right. You're thinking you plan for everything, that you got all the power. But Perpetua, she's mother of the multiverse, and her power does nothing to the energies of my multiverse, the dark multiverse. See, I told you right at the beginning, you want to see what would happen if you and I went head to head, but I've seen it for myself. I skipped to the end of the book. I have read the last paragraph, and spoilers, Batman wins." And that, my friends, is the end of the issue. And needless to say, things are shaping up to get quite crazy. This event has literally been a year in the making with already some pretty big things that have happened, but things are continuing to build, so I'm very curious to see what's going to happen at the end of this event and what that's going to mean for the entirety of the DC Universe. I will say though, I did enjoy this issue as well as everything Scott Snyder has been doing with the Justice League book and even several of the spin-offs from Year of the Villain. So we're definitely going to have to follow the Hell Arisen series on the channel all the way till its conclusion, because again, it's going to mean big things. But as always, let us know what you think in the comment section. Did you love Hell Arisen issue 1? Do you like Scott Snyder's Justice League or the Year of the Villain event and the Secret Six team? Let us know all this in the comments below. First up for the week of the 22nd, we have Batman Superman issue 6. The Secret Six may have met their match when they face the combined might of Superman and Batman, but don't count these infected heroes out yet. Here we have Fantastic Four issue 18. This issue is the fallout of what happened last issue. Punches will be thrown, lives will be changed, and Reed Richards is going to drop some scary science on the planet of Spry. Now we have Ruins of Ravencroft Dracula 1. Long story short, it's Captain America versus Dracula. Do I have to say more? Next up is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 38. J. Jonah Jameson kicks off his new life as a podcast host, and his first guest, Spider-Man. And finally, we have Batman Beyond issue 40. This issue is going to reveal the identity of the mysterious new Batwoman Beyond. And I don't know about you, but I'm very curious. And that's going to bring another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like our channel, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.